This conference will now be recorded.
So I did record. Is still
Okay.
now it's recording started.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So let's get started. So everyone joined or should we wait? I think I'll get started with the session. Then some people can join. So last class we have seen till this select flight depot return. So I'll quickly run this till this point so that we can see where we are. First time it is slow so because of the initialization. So that's registration, and after registration we will wait for max 10 seconds. Okay, if it is not syncing up with the application speed, then we have to increase our wait time. So right now it is slow, right? It almost took 10 seconds. Okay, so then still we are good. Okay, so till this point we have automated and book a flight. So this is where we were capturing the XPaths and everything. So let's see, book a flight right here. Yeah, so we captured almost all until the secure purchase or buy where we are. Yeah, so this is all done. And yeah, button secure purchase, correct. So we are finished with the export capturing, and we are going to call this in the flows. We are going to call these exports by creating the class level class with the operations of this page, right? So what would we call this? Bouquet flight. Bouquet flight is already given, so I'll call this bouquet flight with price confirmation and everything, because the price summary is displayed here. That's what we are going to do. So bouquet flight and validate, right? Validate price. So the class name must specify what you are doing inside the class. So explicitly I mentioned everything: booking flight as well as validating price from the testing point of view. That's how it should be. So, and this class I'm not gonna execute it per se, as I'm gonna call this in the test case, so I don't have to include this public static void main, right? So I'm gonna finish. Okay, so we are gonna operate on. So hopefully we'll finish this with today, and we'll continue in the next class, like how to enhance these with our hybrid approach, like data driven. We haven't done. I mean, data parameterization. We are basically passing the values, first and last name, and all these details in a hard-coded manner. So we have to parameterize them, and we will also create infrastructure functions in the next class. That is next. So we will just finish this hopefully today, or if not, we'll see. Okay, so where we can start, we can first start validating this, or first let us do this. So basically we have to validate this one, but I will enter this, but I'll make sure that the validate function is called first, because once we do this and click secure purchase, we will go to the next page, so we cannot validate. So I'll create these first, enter these, okay, then but I'll call this function first. So let's do that. So passengers information and billing address, right? Okay. Okay, what we need to pass as a argument for each flows class, what we are trying to do, we are passing an argument of type. Anyone? What is the driver actually? We have to drive this class, right, in the here in the test class. So this driver needs to be maintained through the test case. So what we have to pass? We have to pass a WebDriver, right? That's the basic. So WebDriver. So if you look at any other class that we have created, you pass the WebDriver because this WebDriver needs to be passed from the test case. So I'm just parameterizing this driver. Whatever driver you will pass, that you will pass from the test case. Okay, so first we will do the same way. Passengers, first name we have to enter. So driver dot find element by dot x. For this you need to be like ready to write like this. So whether it be interview or in the real time. So this has to be hands-on. You should be able to do it right away without. So you have to practice. Okay, so first we have to call the XPath of first name. So that information must be in the same bouquet flight page object. So I'll just call this by class name because it's a static variable, right? Okay, flight here. So that's why I changed the name. Flows has different name and page objects has different name. Class name. Now dot, it's a text box. So I'll type partially with the type of the object. So then what is this? Where should I go? First name one. That is the one, right? Operation. Operation is, what is operation for text box in Selenium WebDriver? Yes. Oh, send keys for the text box, not the button or link. I asked for the text box. Text box, you have to send keys. You have to type the keys, right? The function name is send keys. Okay, so here I'll pass some name. Doesn't matter because there is no validation. But in real time, you have to pass the same name that you are registered with at least. And second name, you can pass any name, your spouse name or your relative name or whoever you're traveling with. So here I'll just go with first name itself. Later on we will actually we will pass this from a data pool so that we'll make sure the registration as well as the booking flight has the same name, so it doesn't matter right now. So first name one, just for the name's sake I'm passing first name one as a first name one. Okay, so later I'll just enter all the details, right? How many are there? Text box 1 2 3 4. So 1 2 3 4, and then I have to enter the last name, right? So all I need to change is the variable of the XPath, correct? And last name, and then comes the first name 2, where I'm traveling with. So I'll just change this to 2, and I'll just copy it here, and last name 2, and last name 2. Okay. Then meal preference, no preference, or we can select something. Meal preference. If we have captured the XPath, if you remember, we have missed capturing XPath for something because we wanted to go with the default. So let's see that if we have meal preference. I haven't captured the meal preference, so let's go with the default just to expedite this test. So you as a homework, once you take git code, once you fork the git code and take update, then you can update it and you can have your own branch. You can push it to your own branch in your. Then I'll take a look. So that was the process we discussed. Okay, so meal preference, we'll go with this, and credit card details here. So let's enter that. So that will actually go to the next function, correct? So this is a good way of modularization. We'll distribute into each category of application into separate method so that we can have a choice to call or not to call in the test case. So here passengers, I'll just write method level comment so that we can easily understand. Next is, what is the next one? We have create is billing. So we'll call it and each must be passed with a WebDriver. That is a mandatory every time. Only WebDriver is sufficient. We don't have to pass any other thing. I'll show you why we don't need this later. Because if you want to pass any other, if you want to parameterize first name, last name here, you don't have to do this. We can put them in the data pool Excel spreadsheet and call them and read them and store them in a hash map, and we can just have a hash map inside. That is enhancements later. Okay, so for now we'll go as usual. So we will select this. So tell me now, driver dot find element. Every time we have to do this, we have to find the element by XPath for the driver to operate upon using the operation method, whatever. So by dot XPath. Now XPath would be what? So it's already captured in the flight, right? Dot. Now what kind of object I'm trying to operate upon here? This is a drop down, right? So drop down, I already mentioned, like drop down. So then I'll get the options easily. So which one is the one we have to go for right now? Yes, look at this. This is the one I am going to operate upon. So which is the one I had to pick up? Look at the four. Huh?
Credit card type?
Type, yeah. So then what I have to apply? I have to for this drop downs, there is a separate option, right? So I'll go for that. So first one is we have to, this actually returns me a web element, right? We cannot directly operate on this like we did for others. So there is no operation directly available for this drop down. So I have to store this in the web element we equals, okay. Then okay, to import this web element. Now I have to instantiate select class. Cell equals new select, because select is the class that deals with the all drop downs. So again I'll import whatever new classes methods you are going to do, that import. Okay, now if I hover over, it says add an argument, so go for the option. Okay, now automatically it added. It is intelligent. Eclipse is intelligent enough to add whatever, because I already had defined the web element in the local in the function, so it took it automatically. So that's it. Now using this cell, I can select by visible text. Yeah, this is the one. So I can type, or I can type partially, I can or go for it. So select or deselect. Deselect means it's a reverse of selection. So I'll go for this. So basically deselect means if you select it, it will go for the default one instead of selecting it. Will basically, if it is already selected, discover, it will again deselect it so that it goes back to the default, whatever is default right now. Okay, so let's not deselect, let's select. Okay, so which one let's select? Discover. We have to type the name exactly as you see in the drop down. So that's what it means by visible text. Visible text has to be typed in exactly. Okay, so these three lines will select the chosen option, right? Okay, now let's do the number. Okay, I'll show you 3 different ways for the selection of this one, this one, this one. Okay, so now I have taken 3 lines to select this drop down value. Now I'll take 2 lines to select this drop down value, and I'll take 1 line to select this. So whichever is convenient for you, you can go follow going forward. So 1 line is simple looking wise, but it is very difficult to understand. So 3 lines are easy to understand. So you have the option. Okay, number. So number is easy because it's a text box. So drive dot find element by dot XPath. Now it is in which one? So I don't have to type the whole thing every time. So okay, now text box. So what is the one I am trying to enter here? Choose one. Yes. What is this number? Text box. Oh, we didn't define it. Okay, so on last Sunday class we haven't finished the whole thing yet, right? So let's see. Oh, there it is. It is there, but it is defined as drop down, which is wrong, correct? So this is actually text box. So it's just a name incorrect. Okay, so name incorrect actually leads to you just saw this. You couldn't find it at all, so you have to name it correctly. So let me do it again. Okay, so there it is. Okay. So I close this XPath, then I'll close by, then I'll apply the method. What is the method for text box again? Send keys, and I can enter anything here, so it is no validation. So normally 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so that's a normal number, and that's it. And next, okay, something went wrong here. Undefined. What is it? Okay, so that was not every time you have to save it. Sometimes if you don't save it, it will show the error. So just make sure you save all. So this is the save all option. So even if you updated other classes, dependence classes, if you save all, it will save everything so that you will get rid of the errors. Okay, that is done. Now next we have to deal with 2 more drop downs. Okay, so I'm gonna choose month as 12. Okay, now in automation when we run it will select, but I'm selecting manually right now, and 2010. Okay, don't worry, it is expired, but it won't do any validation, so we are still good because that is the max value. I don't have because it's not non-maintainable site. So 2010 is the last modified. So whatever is the last modified date, that year is still there. Okay, so now we have to deal with drop down. So let me do this. So what we have done here, we have captured the web element using driver.find element by XPath. I pass the XPath. This returns me web element. So the same web element I pass to select. So instead of these having 2 lines, I will have 1 line by directly going for select cell is equal to new select. Then I'll write the driver.find element by XPath here, so that we can only have 2 lines. So that is another way, second way I'm showing you right now. So I'll directly start with select. So just be careful, you cannot use the same instance every time. So if you want to call cell1, or you can explicitly call this if you want to call type cell type, that's okay, but select cell2 will be more appropriate because it's local, no problem. Okay, so here I have to pass the whole web element by capturing the passing the XPath that we have captured, driver.find element by dot XPath. Okay, what is the, where is the XPath? Flight dot. Okay, now what kind of object it is? It's a drop down. So, and then what XPath it is named as? It's named as what for this particular object?
Month.
So first one. Okay. Now I'll just end this with a semicolon. Okay, 2 lines. Now what all I have to do is cell to dot select by visible text. Right. Now I'll pass whatever you want to pass. I want to pass 12 as a string only, because even though it's a number, it is a string. So you have to put in the codes. Okay. Now same thing, I have done it in 2 lines. Okay. Same thing, 3 lines, 2 lines. Now you choose whichever is more convenient for you or understandable by you. So okay, now for this one I'm gonna choose only 1 line. Okay, so that I can show you 3 ways. But going forward, we will choose another way. We will create a function for selecting a value from dropdown in the infrastructure here. Just call this. Okay, that is later. So do not worry about that. You have to still understand what is this, because without understanding, you cannot understand the infrastructure level function. So try and understand this. Practice more with more dropdowns. I'll give you more dummy sites to operate practice on. Okay. I think I have it here, dummy sites. I'll just go for them. Yeah. So these are the websites for automation practice. So some of these, yeah, if you take a look at this has all types of objects like drop downs, say, radio buttons, checkboxes, text boxes, yeah, labels, tables, web tables, everything. So we'll take a look at one by one after this example. But right now, you can just take a look at one of these. And this one is a good site too. I don't know whether they are still there, so you just check it out. So okay, this is just a note, so we'll come back here. Okay, so now what we wanted to do, we want to select a value for this guy. Okay, so now in 1 line, how would I do that? Simple, right? So instead of all this, I'll start creating a new instance by new select. I don't have to do this every time. Only if I want to use this, I can assign this value to select instance of select, right? So otherwise, I can start off with directly creating new instance of select like this. This is another way of doing. New select takes one argument of type web element, so that I can choose by doing this driver dot find element by dot XPath, and XPath is in bookflight dot drop down. So which one is it? Right now I'm going to operate upon here. So that's it. Now watch carefully. So all I have to do is apply this method select by visible text on this line directly. So that's what I'm going to do. Dot automatically it came. So that means I am doing correct. Select by visible text, and I'm going for 2010. Okay, and that's it. 1 line. So either you can follow this way. This is more easier for beginners, but after some practice you can do this in 2 lines. But if more practice, you can directly do this, and more expert level practice, again create a function, reusable function for this kind of operation in infrastructure and call this. So that said, now these are optional. I think I don't have to type, because it can take the whatever first name I'm going. So it will refer to the past name. Yes. And billing address I don't have to go for, but we wanted to go for this ticketless travel, right? So just to check the checkbox, so I'll go for that guy. Yeah, so checkbox here only, that is defined. So let's go for that guy. Okay, so how would I do that? It is the same thing. Checkbox also. I'll just put checkbox operation here, just for your reference later. So it would be the same thing as link or button. So it's a clickable object. Drive dot find element by dot XPath again, and apply dot. Okay, now appropriately named, so I can call it easily. Okay. Now the method is click only, because what I do manually, I'll do the same thing in automation. So I click here, select, so I click, that's it. So then finally secure purchase. So that is a final operation. You can put it in. the same credit card info. So what can I do? Final submit, I would call it, and FirePath, and so automatically it comes in the beginning, see, because it's thinks that is the one I want. So far I have used the same thing, so based on the user choice. So button, so there you go. Now what is the operation to apply on the button? Yes, which is the one? Click. Okay. Now two methods are over, right? Now what are the methods we have created? This one and this one. So one more method we have to create. What is that one? This one, to validate the summary, this guy. So we will create that one here, but we'll call this first, then we'll call this in the same order that is displayed in the application. Okay, so we will create validate, or you can create a separate class for validation. That's all up to you, but I recommend use the same class for this validation, because everything belongs to the bouquet flight. So we will put it here. So this, I want to call this as price validation. Okay, public void validate price. Let's call this. Okay, so now I have to pass the same WebDriver as the argument, because here also I'm going to deal with WebDriver, because I have to capture this using the drivers. Just like you operate on these, capturing the text also needs driver. So I have to pass WebDriver as an argument. Okay, so same way, driver dot find. I have to find element first, right? By XPath bouquet flight dot. Now what is this? Text. Instead of text box, I named it as text for this XPath. Okay, now which one is it? I want to capture first what? I want to capture this first going flight, I mean departing flight price for single member. Okay, which one is that? I'm gonna do this again. Now you tell me, what is the XPath I have to go for? It's right there. It is already selected. Departing flight price. Correct. Okay. Now what I have to apply? I want to apply what method? Click or select or what?
Sangam, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why are you selecting text depart flight price? This is not a text box. Is it?
No, that's what I'm asking.
Oh,
I
you're
have to capture this because I want to validate this, right? So
right.
this plus this multiplied by 2 plus tax gives rise to this one. In order to validate, I have to capture this and store it in an integer or string variable first. So I have to apply some method. So I am asking you what method. I didn't say what method. I am asking you what method I have to apply. Dot what? I already told you, right? Get.
We're creating the XPath right now. No, wait.
No, capture get text. Get text is the method. I told before we have done this in here somewhere here in the previous class somewhere. Registration, I guess. Oh no, not here. Register. I'll show you exactly where we have done it. Get text. See. So username. Your username is username 2. When we registered it, displayed this in the confirmation page, in the registration page. Remember. So then I had to capture this. What is there? So how did I capture? Using the same technique. Driver.find element by XPath of that text dot get text. Instead of click select or whatever send case, I have to apply get text. That is the appropriate method. Then this would return me what it would return me. This would return me get text will return me a string. So if you look at this signature, see the return type is string. So I have to store this value in a string so that I can further use it. Same way we will apply the technique here. So this will return me. Look at the last function. Just hover over it and Look at this signature. It returns missing. That's why I'm getting text to validate it. So I'll simply store it in a string variable called, what is it? It's a default flight price. So I'll use the same name. Okay, so this is for get text. It is little bit different. Try to understand this. Okay, and then you will get used to it. All I have to do is I have to apply the get text and store it in a string type of variable to deal with this later. So first we will capture all this, and then we will go for the string manipulations, because without string manipulations we cannot go further, because in order to calculate arithmetic I have to convert this to integer, and in order to calculate this guy I have to get rid of this sign. So we will do that. Okay, next one I have to capture is the return flight ticket price 270. So I'll go with the same way. Remember, we have already captured all the XPaths. If you look at this here, okay, so TRTD, remember? You don't remember?
Right. So you
Oh, oops, one second. Yeah, that. So okay, so all these are all in TRTDs. This is a table, web table. If you remember, 1, 2, 3, third row and third column. So this exists. So we went for the same thing. Third row, TR is third row, TD is third column. So likewise, we have captured all the elements from the web table like this. This is already done. I'm just recapitulating things for you. Now I want to capture using that XPath. So let's do that. So this is called, instead of default flight price, I can call it return flight price, correct? Because I booked the return flight. So this is for one guy departing. This is return flight ticket for one guy. Okay, so all I have to change is the XPath name. So what would it was called? We named it as return. I easily remember because I name it logically. See, it's correct because as soon as I enter it, correct, and I get text and store it in this variable. Logically, if you think, you can easily figure out the things, right? Then I have to capture passengers because I have to calculate the whole thing. All I need to do is validate this is correctly or not. Okay, if it is less, it is more, still it is wrong. It is not a valid price. So that as a tester and as an automation tester, I have to validate. This is the main thing, important thing in the automation validation. All these things we are doing so far is just navigating through the application by entering something. That's all important too, but this is more important. So pay attention. Okay. Now I have to do the same thing for this. Okay. So now tell me, I'll just copy the previous time because I don't want to spend time in writing the same thing. So I'll just change the names accordingly. Okay, so text underscore, this name changes. Okay, now what it is, now you select. All you have to do is partly type it and control space, which will display the options for you. Okay, which one is the one? For the number of passengers, I have to choose number of passengers. That's all. All you have to do is you have to name it correctly when you are capturing XPath. Okay, now I will do the same thing here. Number of passengers, same name. Number of passengers. And we have two more to go, this guy and this guy. Yes, yeah, I'll copy 2 times. Okay, so taxes. So let's just call the appropriate XPath. Otherwise the method is same, get text only. So I'll just go for tax here, and I'll call it tax. And this guy, see, if you hover over it, it will tell you the what the XPath is. So you can easily see without going there. So look at this. So this is the XPath. See, table T body TR3 TD3. That was the XPath. So if I want to go there, click on it, it will take me there. Otherwise, without going there also, I can easily hover over it and take it. So that is a convenient way. Okay. Now if I want to go back, just click on the back button. or if you edited somewhere, if you want to go to the last edited portion, you can click on this and forward this. So all like browser operations, back and forth. Okay, now last is the total price. So I'll just remove this and choose the appropriate one. Which is the one? Which is the variable I have to go for the total price? This is the XPath, right? And I will call it as total price. Okay, so now I captured all the things I need, right? Now I still have to do the validation. This is just capturing. Okay, so now for validation, like this guy plus this guy into this guy plus this guy is equal to this guy, I have to declare this as a integers, right? Or double if they have the decimal portion, like $90 to 20 cents or something. So I'll go for the integer for just convenience sake right now. I don't want to complicate things for you guys. So all are declared as strings. Now all I have to do is convert them to integer, right? So how would I do that? Yes, anyone? I need integers. So basically I will declare integer part of it for all, and then first we will go one by one. Okay. Depart flight price. I'll call the same name. Doesn't matter because my data type is different, so it will treat this variable as different variable. So just for convenience, I renamed it as same thing. Now I just typecasted this string to integer. That's it. So watch. So depart flight price string, yeah, dot. Okay. So there is a integer class which has the option to typecast this. So I'll simply go for the integer dot integer dot has string value, so I'll go for the string dot. Okay, there are multiple ways. I'll show you one way. Okay, so there is an option called integer dot value of. You can go for string dot value of, or integer dot parseInt. Okay, I'll go for that one instead of this. Okay, if you look at it, integer is a class which has parseInt method, which takes string as an argument, okay, and converts it into equivalent integral part, integer part. So this is the appropriate one. Okay, now I will simply pass this guy here. So all I'm doing is converting string to integer. That's all. Okay. Now this is a okay. It simply asks me to rename. So okay. So you cannot have two names, same name. So let's call it something else. Depart flight price. I'll call it int. Okay. So you cannot have two names even though they are different types. So let's have different names. Or let's have this name as different and we can have this. Okay, this is fine. Naming convention is not a big deal. Okay, the then return flight price. Now this is an integer. If I sys out system.println print it to console, it would print 281 only, but it could be integer just for arithmetic purposes. Okay, now I will declare another return flight price, which is an integer part. So I will use the same integer dot parseInt and pass this return flight price. So this will give me integer. Now same thing for number of passengers. Integer number of passengers. Int means integer part. Integer dot parseInt. Now this will take this number of passengers string. Okay. Now here, okay, there are two things I need to do. First, I have to get rid of this sign because I need to have only the number part. Then I'll convert it to integer. So two things. Okay. Now I will store that value in the same. Okay. So let's take the same. The variable name is text and I will take text. So I showed you previously how to take the substring, correct? So substring would be this part. So basically I have to start from second index. That means first index, 0 is the first one. So then I'll go until last, whatever it is. So there is a function called substring, if you remember. Okay, substring. Look at this. So we have used already this one, beginning index and end index. If you remember, go back to the code and check it out. Now I will use beginning index only because I'll tell you the reason. Whatever, we don't know the last index because this can be 3-digit number, 4-digit number, or 1-digit number, right? That you are not sure. So you just have to get rid of the first character. That's all. Then go from the second till the end. Hence, I am choosing this overloaded method. It's overloaded method. So this will basically read this. If you hover over it, it will display the signature and definition and its purpose of it. So this will return a string that is substring of this. Okay. So examples I showed you already. Unhappy dot substring true returns happy because so true is the second index starting from 0. So you start from 0. 0 is u, n is 1, h is 2. So h is 2. That's where it starts from and goes all the way till end. Then I'll get happy. Okay. So we will do the same thing. Now you tell me I have to get rid of this guy and get only this guy. Okay. Now what is the index I have to enter? Go ahead. Guess and tell me.
Why are we not putting the text in integer form? Like the integer we did those three. Like we have integer depart flight int and then integer return flight price int. Why not for text?
That's what I'm saying. First we will get rid of this guy and do this thing because you cannot convert this to integer, right? It has a special character. First you have to get rid of this special character. So to get rid of special character, I'm going for the part of string, which is the function substring. Now tell me the index where I have to start in order to start from this guy. Okay, like this. Look at the cursor, I am moving it. I have to start from here, but I have to start from here. What is the index of this? Easy. Index of this is 0, right? Index of this 9 is 1. So 9 is my first index. So 1. That's it. Now that will return me 90. Okay. So 90. Then I will convert this to integer. So it's a two-step process. Understood, right? Now this is called accent and I'll convert this to integer now. Digit pass int and then I'll pass. So this two-step process will give me 90. That is the output I need. Okay. Now we will do the same process for this one because it also has a special character. What I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the special character in order to operate on this, like arithmetic, plus, minus, multiplication, division, whatever. You cannot have this in order to operate using the math operations and everything. Okay. Total price. Yes, tell me. All I have to take is substring, right? Dot substring. Which one I can go for? I have to go for only beginning index because I don't know the end index because it can be of any digits. Okay. Same thing. What is an index of 1? That is my first letter, correct? What is the index of 1? What is the index of this one? 0. Starting is 0 always. And index of 1 is 1. So I have to go for 1. Okay, if you don't understand this, don't worry. You have to practice more. These are all called string manipulation. That's it. Utilities. Okay. Now I have to convert it to integer. Now I'll call it by the same name with a suffix int, and all I have to do is convert string to integer. So the method is integer dot parsing. I'm basically parsing. So that's it. Okay, now I have all the values that I need. Still I have to do the validation. Validation is still not done yet. Okay. So how do I validate? Using if condition logic. We have already discussed in the Java class, remember. Okay, so what is the condition? Simply tell me. If what something plus something into something plus something equals to something. What is it? Something. Some this plus this multiplied by this plus this equals to this. That's what I have to validate. So if is a conditional statement that I have to use, right? Okay, tell me, what is the first one? First one is depart by price. Which one I have to take? String or integer? Integer. That's the reason why I've converted to integer. You respond faster, otherwise I'll just say the answer and go faster. Okay, now what I have to do? Plus, I have to add depart flight price plus return flight price, right? That's the math. Okay. Now tell me, return flight price integer, right? I think everybody is sleeping. Okay. Now this multiplied by number of passengers. Number of passengers is 2, right? What is the operation for multiplication in Java? Yes. Star. Number of passengers in. You are late. You have to say it quickly. Okay. Now I multiplied, I added these two, multiplied with number of passengers. Okay. Then what I have to do? See, look at the brackets. I am maintaining brackets. Otherwise, you can have wrong value. Okay. So now what I have to do? If you want, you can put in create some more variables and put them in here, assign these values, and then you can do this. Okay. Do you want me to do this? Let's do that. Otherwise, you'll get confused horribly. So I can put one more bracket here that will totally get you confused. So I'm creating one more integer variable called depart return flight price combination. So it simply equals to this plus this. So instead of these two, I'll simply do this. That will be easier for you. I mean, readability wise. And so simply I have to multiply these two guys, right? Depart return flight price into number of passengers, but add the tax. Okay, so I have to add the tax. I have to put and then plus. Okay, tell me what is the variable for
Tax.
integer part, right? Yeah. Okay. Now that should give me the total price. So if condition has two parts, left hand side and right hand side. So this equals, yeah, what is the right hand side? Total. What is the total? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So now this equals to this. Yes, tell me. This equals to this. It means it's a pass. So simply I'll print out the pass. That's what we have been doing, right? Validation. Pass what? Pass total price displayed is correct. You can say whatever you want to. If say, let's for example, if say these two are not equal, I mean, let's say this is like a little bit more or a little bit less. So what it is considered as in testing terminology? Else?
Fail.
Fail. That's it. This is a standard procedure. Total price is not correct. Okay. So then we can fail it and stop the execution. Whatever we can do, we can do. That is later. I mean, I will tell you that in the screenshots, how would you print it in red color and green color? That is all later. Okay, that's fancy thing later. First, concentrate on the functionality. So far, what we have done, we captured all the elements for the values, convert them to integers, and get rid of the special characters, and then actually added the validation. So these 3 steps. So I'll just mention all these things so that you can refer to this later. So this is all capturing text, right? And this is all converting. Why? Because we cannot apply math functions without converting. Converting string to integer or double if they have doubles. Okay. The reason I didn't go for double is we don't have this dots. Otherwise, you have to use double dot parse double. There is a function. We will see those examples also. I didn't want you guys to get confused. Okay. Now what we have done here, what is it? Getting rid of any special character, because without which we cannot operate upon the math functions. Okay. Now here I'm validating it. So this is all. This is like a validation total. I mean, validation starts from here. So here I simply put total price. Oh, sorry. This validation starts from here, right? So this goes up. Yeah. Okay. So validation. Before validation, I just added 2 variables and created one more variable. Put the sum of that into another variable to avoid the confusion. So the total price multiplied by number of passengers plus tax should be equal to total price, whatever is displayed in here real time. If that is equal, then I call it pass and display it pass. Otherwise, it's a fail. That means I don't have to mention again if this is not equal to this. The symbol is not equal to is this one, but if has else condition, so I don't have to mention this. Just for you guys to be aware of, I'm mentioning this. Not equals to means exclamation equals. So we will see, you can practice more Java examples that I send you the PDF. That is all logical. So this is, we are dealing with the Selenium WebDriver with the application. So it comes as a part. Java is just a part of it. Okay. We have defined the whole page bouquet flight. All we have to do is we have to call this in the test case, right? Now select flight is over. Now next is book the flight. Okay, so now bouquet flight we can do is 2 ways. Remember, you can create an instance and call the function using instance, or directly you can create instance with the new keyword and directly call those functions. Okay, this is both are non-static way. If you want to do it a static way, you can have those static functions. Okay, so since we are main function is static, you can call static also. Okay, static. You want to go for static now, because so far we have been doing this non-static way. So I'll just show you static way too. So book a flight here. So public, I'll just create static. I just mentioned the static keyword, right? Static, public static void, and public static. So now you know how to call these static functions in here in the test case. Okay, now tell me, what is the class name? Static functions can be called using the class name, right? What is the class name? Okay, flight, this one, right? Close. I am calling this one here. Dot. Okay, now see, all the methods are available, all the 3 methods. Okay, now we have decided that we will call the summary first, then passengers, then this guy later, in the same order. Okay, now what is the function I need to call first? Valid price. Okay, now we will call other two, because if I call this and this first, then if I click the secure purchase, it will go to the next page, so that I don't have these available. So I have to do this first. Okay, so then second one is, what is the function I need to call? Yes, what of these two, which is the first, second one?
Passenger info.
Correct. Okay. Driver is the parameter I need to pass. Okay. Now finally, credit card info. This will submit to, because I directly click the secure purchase in this one. So it will submit the page. So, okay. So this will take us to the next page. So now what we have to do, we have captured the XPath, we have defined the page, and we have called the page in the test case. Now what else? What we have to do? We have to run the test case and see, right? That's how we know it's correct. We have to run it. Okay, now running. Okay, I'll take till 10 o'clock because we have started off late. Is it okay for you guys? I mean 10 o'clock my time, so your time is 11 o'clock. Okay, now it is taking time. So remember, in order to deal with synchronization, you have to mention appropriate wait times. We have already put 10 seconds, so we should be good. This takes more time, so that's a page response time. So it is submitting to backend database and web services, so it takes time. All you have to do is you have to mention the wait times in your code. That's your detail. Okay, now if it fails, we'll go and update that. If it doesn't fail, it would. If it doesn't capture XPath in time, then it will throw the exception that no such element found exception for the XPath. So look at your, yeah. So we are good. It's going. Okay, flight. It captured and okay, there you go. So it actually submitted. Okay. So now we are in the next page. This is the last page. After that, you can log out or you can do whatever you want to. But our test case ends here. So in this, I will capture these prices again because this is the final price that is displayed in the previous page. So I just want to make sure that, and we can actually make sure this flight information also, departing flight is correct, date is correct, first class, and passengers is correct or not. Okay, we can validate this. That's today we will complete this, so that in the next class we will focus on the framework enhancement of the same test. So I will keep the same code and I will create another package for this guy so that you can refer to both. So this flows will be there, right, with this way, and I'll call the new one flows enhanced or something. We'll name it something else so that it will call infrastructure function. So page objects do not change because these will need anyway. Only the thing that changes is flows. So I'll keep the flows and create another package called flows or flows underscore modularized or whatever. So we'll name it accordingly and we'll create one more test case. Okay. Now what else is needed now? Last is flight confirmation. So flight confirmation, we have created the page object, but we didn't capture the XPath. So let us capture the XPaths. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to do the same thing. I want to, this is all validation. There is no operatable objects here, right? There are no checkboxes, radio buttons, drop downs, text boxes. Okay. So there is just text we have to capture using the getText method. So you can practice that and then click the logout. That is the final. Okay. So now I want to capture that this flight booking is successful. Okay, how would I validate that one? By validating this one, your itinerary has been booked. Okay, that means that it is successful. So if it is not displayed, it would say your itinerary has not been booked or something. So I just want to validate this one too. So in order to validate this one, what I have to do? I have to capture its XPath. Same thing. So I'll Control Shift I. Okay, now same thing here. This is a text. Remember, this is an object actually. So if you carefully look, if you just move it, it will select the whole thing. You don't want the whole thing, right? This highlighted. I just want this one. correct, right? You have to carefully move your mouse. Okay, I just want that highlighted, so I'll click on that one only. Now itinerary has been booked. That's all I want. Okay, now we will write the XPath. Okay, tell me XPath. How do I write? Same thing. / type is, I can go for font also, or I can go, because there are many fonts, remember, so you might get confused, or I can go for its parent. Okay, parent is B. Okay, or I can go for font, whichever way you want to. So let's go for the direct font, and immediately it shifts to the first font. So I have to do this again. Okay, now tell me what is the property contains. What is this property? What value I am targeting at? Your itinerary has been booked, right? What is the property for this value? If nothing is mentioned, what is the property? I told you.
Where is size the property
Text.
of text?
I don't want to go for size plus one. I told you this is the guy I want to go for, because that's where I'm targeting. So text. If nothing is mentioned, I go for text. Your itinerary has been booked. So remember, you have to copy this exactly. Okay, this is how the space is coming with it. So take it. That's how the developer has gained. Otherwise, you, since you mentioned contains, you can remove the your. That's all fine. Okay. Okay. So is it matching?
No.
No, because 0. So that something is wrong. You have to modify. Okay. Let's work on it. Your itinerary has been worked. Okay.
Maybe the space issue.
Yeah, I am removing. Yeah, you are right. Space is the problem. Actually, the your came. So since I am mentioning contains, I can go for the partial text. All I want is a one match of the XPath. So I can take this way. Okay, now what I have to call this XPaths? Public. Tell me. Public final. I told you why all of this already. And I'll call this as a flight confirmation text. So it will be called text underscore flight confirmation quotes semicolon. Okay. Now that's my first one. I want to validate this so that I have to capture it. That's it. I'm not capturing all of this, each and everything. I'm only capturing those I want to validate in my test case. That's all. Okay. So next I want to capture. You can capture whatever you want. You can create your own test case. You can capture flight confirmation, departing, all this. So I don't want to do that at all because of the time limitation. I'll finish it in next half hour. So I'm focusing on important things. Okay, so I'll capture this one. Okay, 281, same thing. Full departing price and returning price, and get rid of this $sign and everything. Number of passengers. So I have to get rid of passengers here. And you can capture bill to all these things and validate with the previous page billing address, same thing. Okay, that's your homework. You choose whatever you want to do. Just play with this page. Okay, then I'll capture this guy, USD. So there is more complication here. So remember, previous page only has this till this only, and this page has all this. So I have to get rid of the substring, has to be carefully written. So that's a logical complexity. Now this, and finally validate this whole thing, total price again, and log out. That's it. That's a total test case for this TC1 test case 1. Okay, so what else? What I mentioned so far? This guy, right? So now you do the same operation. Okay, now like this. Now, okay, so if you look at it, I cannot just choose this guy. Okay, 281. The whole thing is a single object. Okay, you look at this. So this is a whole object, and in this there is this guy. Okay, so I had to take this, but we will go for the string manipulation operations like substring. So then I will cut this to 281. That is my final. Okay, now I'm clicking on this one. Okay, now I'll write the XPath. So tell me what is the XPath for this one? Yes. XPath for this is, so remember this is a table structure, table trtd. So I told you when you're dealing with tables, just go for the Chrome ones, whatever is, just copy the XPath, then we can modify. It's easiest for the table ones only. Okay, so I'll just make a note for this one here. So these are the logs. Okay, the console logs should look like this, so that your report can look like this, whatever we have done in the test. So I'll show you this later. Okay, I'm just mentioning note here that for table objects, okay, first copy the XPath from Chrome, okay, DOM, and then customize it. That's what we have done. Okay, so example I'm giving right here. So when I copied this whole thing came, right? So this is the copied one. Do not use this as is. Okay, copied XPath. Okay, now what I do is customize. Okay, so we will customize it right here and come back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll paste it right here. So one match, it's valid, but it is still not optimized. So what I told you was you have to remove all this unnecessary parents. Okay, I don't need this, without which, so just go till the first table from the right. Okay, td tr tbody table, first table. Okay, delete this and put a double slash. Okay, I got it. That's it. That's all I need. And I don't even have to have font, but just for the sake of I mean mentioning that it is a font object, I'll keep it. So last time I removed this font also. Okay, still it is valid. Oh, still it is not valid. So be careful. So this time we want. Last time we didn't want. So this time we want. So this is the optimized or customized XPath, which is still valid, which results in single match. So I can take this. So this is what you have to do. Copied XPath and customized XPath. So what I did for customizing XPath, tell me. I'll write it for notes. Delete all the parent objects till the first table object from the right, and if it's double slash, that's it. Okay, now you have to, if still this matches in two matches, you have to go with the previous table. I mean you should go with the one more table on the left. Okay, so you have to keep doing this manipulation. So it all depends on you. Okay,
Can you
now yeah.
so Sangam, so you said delete the parent and then go get rid of
Hmm.
the first table and the second table?
Yes, look at this. Okay, I'm doing this. Okay, so this is the original one, right?
Right.
So what I'm doing, I don't need all this, because otherwise it is called absolute XPath. I just wanna go for the relative XPath. So see the first table from the right, this guy. So I can delete all this. Okay, and put a double slash. That's all. Now imagine a scenario where the first table starting is resulting in 2 of 1, I mean 2 matches. Then what I had to do, I had to go for its parent again. So till here, second table from the right. Okay, so then do the same thing. So still I am good, one match only, but all I need is a optimized one, shorter version of XPath. So basically this, for this example, this is not required. Correct. So even if I delete this, still I am valid. So I can take this one, shortest XPath. So you have to do this. If it is resulting in 2 matches or more, you have to keep going from right to left for more objects. That means you have to mention the parents. Correct. Understood? Okay. And keep going from right to left by mentioning more parent objects as necessary. So you have to keep on doing this until you get one match. That's important. I just lost. Okay, so that's for you guys note. I just mentioned this will actually give you good reference. I mean, practice will make you anyway perfect if you practice more. Okay, so this guy is for which one? Departing flight price. Okay, but the whole text we have to do the string manipulations to get rid of this. But if you are dealing with test case where you are validating first class, that's what I booked the flight, right? First class, not the economy. Then you can take this and capture it in, store it in string variable and validate it. Okay, so I'm keeping this test case simple so that we can finish. Okay, now this is called text. What is this? Depart flight price. Okay, which it contains basically. It contains much more than that. Okay, so now I will create one more variable for returning flight price. Okay, where is the returning flight price? Right beneath it. Okay, now I have to do the same thing. See, remember, I cannot capture just this 270. I have to go for this whole thing. There is no other option. So now this is a table and it's complicated. So I'm going to copy. This is how you copy. Right click, copy, and copy XPath. Okay. Should I mention this in the notes? Are you gonna forget this? How do you copy XPath? Right click on the element selected in document object model DOM, and then I'll put an arrow copy and arrow copy XPath. Okay, so this is how you're gonna copy it, just for your reference in case you. Okay, so then I copied. So same thing, I'll paste it here, and then I'll look for the first instance of table. Okay, I'll delete all the website double. Okay, I got it. Simply means table has a T body which has fifth row and first column. Okay, then my element is there. That's it. Oh, I lost this page, guys. Okay, if you actually go back, it will blast. So don't worry. What I have to do, I have to simply run this again, run this program, so that I can. Yeah, you're saying something. Remember, this is the difference. It exists in third row, depart rate price, and there is a fifth row. So fourth row is just a blank table. So that's all the difference. Okay, actually I lost the page, right? I just clicked on the back button or something, so I lost the page because it's a dynamic page. You cannot put this Mercury purchase. Whatever it's called. So all I have to do is rerun this program so that I'll reach that page. Simply I'll read. Oh yeah, say it again. You're saying something. Go ahead. This will take some time. Tell me your doubt. So quick question. Even if you do, okay, it's doing. Even if you do this, it will still run on the back end. So no worries. Okay, now we have reached this page. Okay, we will quickly do the other XPath capturings. Okay, now what else is needed? This pathing is right. So I can simply say this belongs to C. Common sense tells me that this is the third row. This is the third row, right? This is the third row. Fourth row is this one, so that's why this is the fifth row, right? So then this is the sixth row, this is the seventh row. So look at this. Without even going to DOM, I can order of fifth row, and this is seventh row for the passengers, because there's a one more row in between passengers, then this is seventh row. So let me do this here, and then we will validate this if it is correct or not. So what is this called? What is the XPath called for this guy?
Passenger.
Correct, number of passengers. Same thing, just like before. We're doing this. Okay, just put this T carefully. Okay. So let's try to validate this. 100%, 99% is correct, but you cannot take chance. So we have to validate it. Okay, so that is correct. It is correctly highlighting. So then I'll go for this guy. So here the 7th row, 8th row, 9th row, 10th row, 11th row, 12th row. This must be 13th row. So let's just check quickly. Okay. Okay, I am wrong. So you cannot be basically generalized like that one. So I had to do this proper way. Okay, so if you look at this, this actually gives me nice advantage. I can go for the whole thing, but there is a inner tables, table within a table and rows. So I can directly go for this guy. That's all I need, right? So I'll go for this guy. And this is also in the table structure. So just right click on this highlighted portion, copy this and paste it in here, one of one match. Okay, so same procedure. Go for the first occurrence of a table from the right and delete the left portion. Okay, then I have what I need. Copy this, optimized XPath. Okay, and I can call this as what? What is this XPath for? Yes. What is this XPath for? What did I capture? So rename
Total tax.
X. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'll copy this and let's call this finally total price including taxes. So this is called total price. Okay, so can anybody guess what is the total price? Here, this is obviously the next row, right? So all I have to change the row number. So let's TR1 to TR2. Okay, so still it is not correct. So you cannot know. There are hidden rows, so you cannot take chance. And what I have to do is I have to go with my procedure. Okay, so right click, copy XPath, paste it here. Okay, and then that's my table. Okay, so basically TR2, TD2. That's the difference from the previous one. Previous one is TR1, TD2. Okay, let's compare both and see. TR2, TD2, font B, font. Okay, yeah. So 2 was correct, but still it was not validated on the go. So it is validated one of one match, so you can take it. That's all we want. Okay. Finally, after validating this, I'll log out or back to home, whichever you want to. So I want to log out, so I'll capture its XPath. So this guy final. Okay, so this is not this is a table object too, but I can write. So that's an image, yeah, and first image, and back to this image. Okay, tell me what is a, especially if it is a cell thing, then you have to go for the previous technique, but you have the proper this thing, what is properties and values, then you can write your own and mention the, this is the good way of dealing with the experts. Okay, if you look at this source says logout, so I can just mention contains address src which has the wording logout. Okay, so that is one. Take this guy and call this as what? What do they call this as?
Button.
Button, correct. And button what? happen? Okay, when you actually type quote, automatically it fills with the double quote. So let's take it here. Okay, so I just messed it up slash. All right. So we have all the XPaths. All we need to do is just define this flows. So I have to create a flows class, and we can call this as what? Flight confirmation itself, right? Flight confirmation. So this time I'm keeping the same name as that of page objects, but calling time we will see exactly. Okay, so do not worry. We can have same names in the two different packages, but all you have to do is call from the correct package or import the correct package. Okay. Okay, first things first, what we are doing here, first we are capturing this guy, right? So tell me, how do you capture? Capture and store in a string variable. So first one is, what is it? First one is what? What is that called? The highlighted one, selected one. Part by price. So I'll capture this driver dot find. Okay. What is this driver dot? It doesn't make any sense, right? So because I'm not putting in a function, the class I'm directly declaring. So I have to create a function. So it's called, I want to call this validate flight confirmation. Okay, because I'm validating basically, right? So public, let me create static function validate flight confirmation. That's my function, and I have to pass WebDriver. That's why the error was. Every time you have to pass the WebDriver. Okay, so now we should be able to choose a find element. Otherwise, it won't even come. By dot XPath, and what is the XPath? Flight confirmation, right? So just carefully choose which flight confirmation. There are two flight confirmations. So my XPaths are in page objects. So choose that one. So that's why it's appending page objects. So I'm just doing it in a little bit different way. So this will give you, I mean, indication that if you have two same classes with the same names in two different packages, you have to mention this. Okay, I'll tell you another way. Just in a second. Dot what? Okay, so close the brackets appropriately. One bracket is closed, another bracket is closed, then dot getX is not coming, so something wrong. So driver dot find element by XPath. So page objects I can remove here. This doesn't look good. So all I will do is I'll import the page objects. Right, information page objects. Oh, it is still taking, right? Okay, so okay, let's not worry about this guy. So just to avoid this confusion, I'll rename it. I just wanted to use it. Okay, how do you rename it? Rename it by refactoring it. So what do you want to call this? Flight confirmation validation. Okay, because it's a validation part. Okay, update reference must be checked, otherwise it will not update where it is called. Okay, so now I don't have to worry about this. Somebody is sleeping. So what do you want to call this? Save this again. Yeah. What do you want to call this? Flight confirmation. So I have two different. So I don't have to worry now. Flight confirmation dot. First one is text dot flight price. Right. Now close this, then dot get text. Now it will come get text. Right. Same way that we have done previously. So this line will be repeated. Okay, there is an error because I imported this page objects. I'll remove this. We don't need this one also.
Imported.
We need this. Okay, sorry. It will automatically import. So, okay. Now let me repeat this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's all we need. And next one is return flight price, and here I'll just pass return flight price, right? Right. So, deleting the whole thing. Return flight price, and I'll just rename this to return. Okay, so that will get me this. And number of passengers here. Okay. We're doing the same thing that we have done in the previous page, but we are dealing with the complex objects here. That's all. XPaths were a little bit different, and that's just for your. Okay, now what is this? Text underscore number of passengers, and then what is the next one? Text underscore and finally this one. What is it called? Total price, and it's a text underscore. Then finally we will click on logout. So that's like a action. It's not a caption. So I'll just go for fly.xpath flight confirmation dot button logout. Okay, so that's a final operation. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. How do you validate this one? So I need the integer variables, right? So I'll create integer variables corresponding to this. So I'll simply name it as int. So I'm doing faster because I have already showed you before in the previous page. Int, tags int, price int, and all this will be integers. Right? Is it correct? Not capital int, right? It's just small int. Nobody is listening. Everybody is sleeping, huh? Integer. Okay. So all I have to do this, I don't need all this because it's already captured. I just copied it. So what I need to do, depart like integer dot. I told you how do you convert from string to integer? Integer dot parse int. Okay, that will convert from. Just make a note of it. So here I'll pass this. Okay. So I'll just mention this in the notes for your reference later. Okay, so notice string utils. Don't worry, we will learn all these things later. But instantaneously, I'm mentioning to convert from string to integer. You need to have integer as a string. Okay, otherwise you cannot convert ABCD. That's a different. It will take equivalent value, but that's a different story. So integer dot parse int. Okay, that's a function, and pass the string value here. Okay, so this will give the equivalent value of integer in the string. Okay, so now we will do the same thing for this guy. So return flight price. Okay. Okay, so far we have captured. Okay, but we have to deal with these guys also. Okay, 281 each. Don't worry, I am coming to that. That's in a bit. So first time converting to integer, provided it's already we got rid of unnecessary characters and everything. So number of passengers also has something, right? 2 passengers. We have to get rid of passengers and everything. So I am directly going for integer dot %. So let me quickly. Okay, number of passengers converting from string to int. X price. Okay. Now we have convert. What happened to this?
Double semicolon. Yeah, of this line.
Ah, that double semicolon is fine, but integer %, return flight price. Flight price. Ah, okay. So that was double semicolon is okay. Doesn't matter, but it's a warning. Okay. Now we have to do something before this. Okay. First we have to deal with this one. So this whole text. Okay. Out of this whole text, I just need to extract this text. How would I do that? Using the substring, right? So substring. How do I do? I'll take the same string. So I'll just mention it here as a note. First, okay. Substring. How do you take? String dot substring and mention integer beginning index and integer ending index. Okay. So or you can use the overload function, just beginning index. So appropriately you can use. We'll use the same technique here. So and I'll store the same value in the same variable. So I'll take this equals to the same variable dot substring. Now I have to go for both beginning index and ending index because there are I have to get rid of beginning as well as end, correct? So that's why. But we have to choose carefully. Okay, now tell me what is the beginning index? How do you determine? How do you determine the beginning index? Can you or can you not? You can like goes like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 13, 25, 26, and I want from 26, 27, 28, and I can get rid of 29, 30, 31, 32. Is that right? Can we do that like this? 26 to 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Ending index is excluded, right? So can we do this?
It's look nice, but it's depending on the text. If the text size is very, so the substring is
Right. You're right. Yeah, good. You're not sleeping at least. So this totally depends. You can probably you have chosen the Zurich to New York. Okay, in that case, the text number of characters in the text differs, right?
yeah.
Right. And Unified Airlines can be anything other than Unified Airlines, like British Airways. So you have to go for the regular expression. No matter what this is, I have to say whatever wherever the dollar sign starts, take from that dollar sign's next character. Okay, so listen to this carefully. That's a technique. Look for the first instance of dollar character because I don't have any dollar character before this. So look for the first instance of dollar character and take the next character. And this can be 4-digit or 2-digit too, depending on the flight price, right? Then look for a space before each. There is a space, right? And then take only those characters. So that's a logical thinking. Now in order to do this, we have to take into consideration the regular expression. Okay, not this static way is not going to work because this can start from like here to here, which is totally wrong value. I cannot operate on these alphabets. I have to take the numbers into character. Okay, so now how do you do this? So there is a regular expression match. We will, I think it's already 10 o'clock. I will just make a placeholders here and we will continue till in the next. So before going for the regular expression, I have to little bit introduce you about the regular expression, how this works. So basically dollar sign is the first character. So I'll just roughly tell you. Okay, so that is indicated by caret dollar sign, and we have to go for the next instance of numbers, right? Numbers are indicated by like this 0 to 9, 3. So 3 occurrences or 4 occurrences, I don't know. So star, then that is the end. So something like this. It's not correct. but I am just putting a placeholder here. Okay, so using regular expression, use expression like this. Okay, so we will do the same thing for other guys.
I think it's better to continue the later part from the next lecture because
That's what I'm saying. So I'll just continue in the next class because it's already sleeping time, right? So number of passengers here, total price here. Okay. So we will use this in the next class. I'm just putting a placeholder. That means for next class to remember where to start and everything. Just give me a second. Okay, in the next class, what we have to do? Anybody can remind me? What we have to do? Tell me.
to convert this to catch the price from the string as
Correct.
integer type.
To correctly display capture the numbers only using the regular expression. That's what we are going to do. Okay, I'll just mention here. Convert, capture, extract the required.
And the date also.
Sorry.
And the Saturday date also. That's why we are doing that.
Yeah. So that we will do in the next class, and this is for converting from string to integer. We have already done it. Okay, so I did the next portion already. So after this, automatically I'll convert this to integer. But this is important. In the next class we will see. So okay, guys, I'll end this session here right now. Any doubts you can let me know. Otherwise, good night.
I think you suggest everyone to study some regular expression.
I'll
So
start the next class with the introduction of regular expression. So don't worry, I'll make you expert of regular expression in the next class. All right.
okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay then. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.